So greetings, Raider Nation, and welcome back to another episode of the Raider Critique, where in this episode we are going to preview Week 10 versus the Los Angeles Chargers at home. Now there's really not much to go over, and I say that every video, but then again, with the way this football team plays, it's almost unbearable to come on here and do videos because there's absolutely nothing to be positive about. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody in the nation is divided, and we've already spoken about that in other videos as well. It's been a real shit season for us. We're losing players left and right. The players that are on the team are being picked on by mainstream media saying that they've checked out. And they've also been being picked on by guys like me who also see that they have checked out. Now, of course, you got your apologizers out there, and you've got your excuse makers who sit there and say, oh, the team hasn't checked out. This is just the way the team plays because of the scheme. Regardless on what it is, we're not winning games. We don't look like the 2016 Raiders. That's for damn sure. We don't even look like the 2007 Raiders. We look worse than that. With a much better squad, I might add. Now in this episode, I don't have any stats that I want to go over. I do want to go over what happened to us last time we played the Chargers, which was a heartbreaking defeat. Watching our team get trolled by Phillip Rivers. Watching their tight end, who wasn't Antonio Gates, get wide open down the field on us. Watching Melvin Gordon and the running back cluster that they have behind him run all over us. And our team has not changed much since the last time we have faced the Los Angeles Chargers. Our defense has gotten worse. We don't have Bruce Irvin anymore, and we're going to go over that. Just a small little portion of this video, we'll go over that. I mean, really, guys, what does anybody want me to say? I don't make excuses. So I can't sit there and say trust in the process, because even I don't believe that statement. All right, when you have developed a losing culture like we have developed, it's really hard to shake. Regardless on what coaching regime's in there, what players are in there, etc. Because the losing culture starts at the front office. That's where it starts. And we have watched this front office make bonehead move after bonehead move, bonehead extension after bonehead extension, to put us in the situation that we are in right now in the 2018 season, which is the laughingstock of the NFL, right next to the Giants. Us as fans don't deserve this. And even though this is the route that we do have to take, we did not have to take this route. But I do believe that John Gruden felt that he could not win with this squad now. And I do have somewhat of a theory about that, because when Jack Del Rio was here and he pulled all those free agent moves and we signed all those players to those lucrative contracts, that was our make it or break it year. And it's all starting to come together now on why we are rebuilding, because that literally was our make it and break it year. We've already gone over a lot of the figures of what the front office did back in between the times of 2013 to the playoff run back in 2016. And we noticed that in between the 2015 and 2016 season, Jack Del Rio and Reggie McKenzie spent a bunch of money on the roster, bringing in free agent acquisitions, and paying players like Derek Carr $25 million a year, because we were in a win-now mentality for that season. The problem is that the next season came around, we went 7-9. We already had all that money dumped into the roster. Jack Del Rio wound up getting fired at the end of that year. And that's when I knew right off the bat that we were going to be rebuilding again, even though I did not want to accept it. But the writing was on the wall. It was right there in black and white, right in front of our faces, whether we wanted to believe it or not. We spent all that money in between 2015 and 2017 because we were in win-now mode. We are obviously not in win-now mode right now. And that's where everything has been misconstrued, and that's where everything got messed up. Because a lot of us Raider fans thought that we were still in win-now mode because of what John Gruden said when he came to the team. He said that he would win with this squad, and that he would win a championship for Oakland, or he would give the money back to Mark Davis. Well, it doesn't look like he's winning a championship in Oakland. So it's time to put your money where your mouth is, John, and give Mark his money back. But we know you're not going to do that. And we can't totally quit on you because it's only been 1 year. And what kind of person would I be if I didn't even give you a full season to prove yourself? Well, I wouldn't be a very good guy, you know. And I would probably be very well known as a hard-nosed businessman who didn't take any shit and also didn't have any patience. That sounds like me. That sounds exactly like me, because I don't have any patience. And I don't have any patience for losing. But since that's where we're at right now, this is what we have to deal with, so we have to trust in the process, because you're getting $10 million a year for 10 years. I mean, it is what it is, Raider Nation. We are in rebuild mode. So why don't we go ahead and hit the intro? Let's talk about Bruce Irvin, and let's get into the pregame review for Week 10 versus the Los Angeles Chargers on this episode of The Raider Critique. So I always do a small segment like this when we get rid of a player who actually really meant something. And even though he wasn't very good this year due to what he did for this football team when he was here before, when he first showed up, I have to send my deepest gratitude to Bruce Irvin, who we released earlier this week, basically right after the San Francisco game, and then he was re-signed by the Atlanta Falcons. Now, even though he checked out on us, I am going to wish him luck over in Atlanta, but I can't really blame the guy for checking out on us. If you look at what we've gone through this season, in normal life, there is a cause and effect. You know, and that's, or if you want to put it in different terms, it would be action and reaction. You know, the actions that have been made by this football team, the way the players are playing is the reaction. Now, whether that makes any sense to any of you or not, the way this team is reacting to all the actions that this organization has done, well, that's what we're seeing on the football field. This is how they're reacting. They're checking out. regardless on what certain podcasters or certain individuals have to say, within the organization, outside of the organization, inside the media, outside the media, fan-based or non-fan-based, whatever. Hindsight's always 20/20, like I've always said before on this channel, and I see that the team is checking out. And this is absolute proof that this is exactly what happened. They're going to give Bruce Irvin a chance in Atlanta, and he's going to make that defense a lot better than what it is. And it's going to be because he's not playing on a football team that is just happy with one win. And an organization who is happy with one win because they know that they're building for the seasons to come and not this season right now. So here is the Week 10 game preview for the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Oakland Raiders at O.co. Now, the last time we faced this team, it was not pretty. As a matter of fact, Phillip Rivers was trolling our defense. And that was before the missing acquisitions of Bruce Irvin and a few others were going on. So how do you think this defense is going to look against this football team now? This Chargers team is 6-2. We are 1-7. Now this is my absolute most hated rivalry. I cannot stand the Chargers, and it's definitely for personal reasons. It's because, you know, I've got a family member who is a avid Chargers fan. Happens to be my brother, and we've been going at it for years and years and years. As long as we've been in existence, as a matter of fact, and even with the way it is now, that still has not changed. It's not going to be pretty. And as you know, and as you can tell, I have not put any keys to winning because I honestly don't think that it's going to be possible for us to win this game because of how bad we've played in the past. It's why we're 1-7. Our players are not with our coaching staff when it comes to mentality or play scheme. They literally are not playing the game that they need to be playing to be developing W's. Derek Carr, regardless on how good or bad he can be, if you don't block for him, he can't make passes, which means we're not going to do anything. This could be Marshawn Lynch's last season, and he could be retiring after this year. Now, with him going to IR, of course, he's not going to be in this game. You know, and he's probably not going to be with us for the rest of the year, which means that we're not going to have a running game. We've got Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington, and Doug Martin, who is beat up. So, if we're not going to be able to run the ball, we're not going to be able to pass block, because we've obviously shown that in the previous 8 weeks that we cannot pass block, which means we're not going to be able to throw the football. Exactly what this means, and our defense is going to play lackluster and not be able to stop the Chargers. We're going to lose this game, and we're going to get pummeled 28-3. I don't foresee us scoring a touchdown. We'll be lucky if we even catch the field goal because we have a new field goal kicker, and he isn't that good as well. We replaced that dude McCade after we picked him up during this season, and we let him go after 2 weeks and picked up another rookie that we picked up from Arizona, I believe. And I can't even recall his name. But if we're lucky, we score 3 points this game. Now, I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, Raider Nation. I'd hate to focus on the negativity, but there's no way we're winning this game. The only thing that we need to be positive about is that we're going to get number 1 draft pick next year. We're going to get the first overall draft pick out of one of these many draft picks that we have acquired, including from our losing season this season. One way or another, we're getting that first overall pick. I mean, I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the only good thing there is to look forward to for the rest of this season. Now look, this is a question that we've all been asking, and I wanted to throw this segment in here just to try to get common ground in between everybody on this team's bandwagon. And what I mean by that is, man, it's us Raider Nation, dude. The only ones that are here are the diehards. We're the only ones left. All the rest of them have already jumped ship. They've already taken off. And regardless on what you see in the chat rooms and what you see at the press conferences and whatnot, the only other people that are not in those rooms, man, that are not Raider fans are the trolls. But I did want to talk about this because this is something that needs to be addressed. Now, we all know that this coaching regime is not going anywhere, at least this year. And we're definitely not getting rid of everybody in this coaching regime when it does come time. But we're going to use this as kind of like a little fun game on the critique's opinion on where we should go from here moving into next season. Now, I don't want to keep everybody in this coaching staff, and I would like to predict on who's probably not going to be here and who probably is going to be here next season. Now, from the numbers and from the way everything is looked, the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator are not on the same page. The offensive coordinator is supposed to be trying to figure out ways to keep his offense on the field to give his defense a chance to rest, to where the defensive coordinator can come up with play schemes against the other team's offense and stopping them from moving the ball. We have been dominating in the time of possession mostly all year. So it's not like the offense really not doing their job, because they are dominating in the time of possession, but the play calling on offense is lackluster and mediocre. It really doesn't look like we have had a change in coordinators from last year to this year. And this is what I've always said about Greg Olson, because when Greg Olson was with us back in the day, back in 2013, our numbers looked a lot like what they look like now, which is lackluster and mediocre. We run a lot of screen passes. We run a lot of slant patterns. And I know that's the basis for a West Coast offense, but to be honest with you, if it didn't work in 2013, what is making anybody think that is going to work now? It doesn't make no damn sense. It didn't work back then. It's not going to work now. Okay? And I know that they brought this dude in here, and maybe John Gruden did bring this dude in here because of what he did for the Rams, but he's not our quarterback coach, and our quarterback is not Jared Goff. We already gave this dude one run, and he made our offense look the worst that it's ever looked before in franchise history, and that's without dudes like Jamarcus Russell. I mean, this guy should have never became our offensive coordinator, regardless on who's calling the plays or not. Because you can't tell me, Raider Nation, that the plays don't look really similar from last year. Because it basically looks like the same playbook. We might be running a couple more sets with two running backs, but it's dink and dunk, bullshit button hooks, slant patterns, and screen passes. This is no different than Todd Downing's offense. And maybe it's Gruden's play calling, but maybe Gruden is just saying that it's him who's calling the plays to take the heat off of Greg Olson. Because you know, Chucky is the celebrity. Chucky is the one who's going to be like your Donald Trump. He's going to be the one who can take all the criticism and just let it roll off his shoulder. Because believe it or not, that's what he's there for. Okay? He's there to take all the heat, but he's also there to fucking gain all the publicity because he's a celebrity coach. Alright? And that is a matter of opinion, but I'm just saying, hindsight's 20/20, and that's what I see. So honestly, when it comes down to it, I mean, our defense is probably the worst that it's ever been. But then again, when you look at the players on the squad, I don't know, our average age is 28 to 29 on defense. 28 to 29 on the whole team. We went from the youngest team in the league to one of the oldest. So with all these draft picks, hopefully we pick up, well, to be honest with you, with our first 4 picks, I believe we need to go defense. And that's just my personal opinion, because defense has been so bad this year, ranking at in the 30s. Okay, that's like toward the last in the league in defense, running and passing. We've been being used like toilet paper. Just basically the people are wiping their ass with us. That's exactly what's going on with this defense, because they go in and they do whatever the hell they want to against us, especially against this defense. But I don't think that means that Paul Guenther's going to get the axe. I believe that if this is John Gruden, and John Gruden's going to have to make his decision, if anybody on this coaching staff is gone, it's going to be Greg Olson. Greg Olson needs to go. All right? His play calling is lackluster. The offense is underperforming. We knew what the defense was going to be after we traded Khalil Mack. We knew that the defense was not going to be the greatest of all defenses, but we definitely expected the offense to produce more points and more yards than what they have. And John Gruden's not going to throw himself under the bus on this one, even though he has taken a lot of the heat about the play calling. But I don't believe that we will see Greg Olson on this team next season. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing to the channel. And please don't forget to like and hit that bell for notifications on this video. You know, I want to let you guys know that I say it all the time. I do appreciate every single one who has subscribed to the channel, new and old. And I definitely appreciate all the comments that come in on the page to where we can actually talk about this. And, you know, instead of everybody just hearing my point of view, it's really good to read all of y'all's point of view down in the comments below. And maybe we'll start doing some live videos to where you guys can be more interactive with the channel, and I can be a little bit more interactive with all of you. But I wanted to thank all of you for everything that you guys do, for coming in, watching the videos, and doing everything that you guys do for me. Because I have found it very hard to get in here, to set up the backdrop, to come up with material, to make all the pictures that you guys see on screen, because of how this football team has been playing. Now, a lot of people would think, oh, well, you know, they're probably giving you a lot more material to work with since, you know, you like to scream about them. Look, I don't like to scream about them all the time. All right? There comes a certain point in time where, you know, you get tired of screaming because you realize that it's not going to do anything. And it hasn't done anything so far. This team has not pulled their head out of their asses, and I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to until we start seeing some major changes by bringing a winning culture, by bringing in some winning coordinators for this football team. So anyway, this is the Raider Critique, man. I'm signing out of here, and I'll see you guys at the post-game review.